Dear students, in the last class we have studied about the comparison of all the three statistics, that is Maxwell, Boltzmann, Bose-Einstein and Fermi-Dirac statistics, and we have also studied about their applications. In this class we are going to study about the laws of radiation. In the laws of radiation, first we are going to study about the first law, that is Stefan Boltzmann's law. All these laws are about the radiation from a black body. The intensity of a black body radiation are explained by Planck's laws. The first law is Stefan Boltzmann's law. According to this law, the intensity of total radiation from a black body is proportional to 4th power of temperature. Okay? According to Stefan Boltzmann, the intensity of black body radiation from any black body is proportional to 4th power of its temperature. It is given as the intensity of black body radiation is proportional to 4th power of absolute temperature, or I can write it as E is equal to proportionality constant sigma T power 4. What is this sigma? This sigma is called Stefan Boltzmann constant. Its value is found to be 5.670 into 10 to the power of minus 8 meter power minus 2 K power minus 4. Okay, this is the value of Stefan Boltzmann's constant, and the Stefan Boltzmann has introduced this law in the year 1879. In the year 1879, Stefan Boltzmann studied the intensity of black body radiation. Okay, and the intensity measured is proportional to the 4th power. That means, as the temperature increases, as the temperature of black body increases, the intensity of radiation is also increases. This is about the Stefan Boltzmann law. The next law is Wien's law. He is the scientist who introduced this law in the year 1894. Okay? In the year 1894, after the Stefan Boltzmann law, according to this law, the wavelength of maximum intensity is inversely proportional to absolute temperature of the black body. That is, he said the wavelength, the maximum intensity, the wavelength of maximum intensity is inversely proportional to absolute temperature, okay, of the black body. And he also says the product of the product of maximum wavelength of intensity, okay, at absolute temperature, the product of absolute temperature and the wavelength of maximum intensity is always equal to constant, that is 2.8978 into 10 to the power of -3 meter Kelvin. Okay. See, the product of absolute temperature and the wavelength of maximum intensity of radiation from black body, the product of these two will always be remains constant. That is about 2.89 into 78, approximately 3 into 10 to the power of -3 meter Kelvin. Okay, and he says the wavelength of maximum intensity. Okay, the wavelength of maximum intensity is proportional, that is inversely proportional to absolute temperature. Okay, according to Wien's law, he has given these two points in his law, that is the product of maximum intensity of black body radiation and temperature. Absolute temperature is a constant value, and the maximum intensity of black body radiation is inversely related with the absolute temperature. And this law also expresses the intensity of wavelength of radiation, the intensity of radiation. Okay, black body radiation equal to A divided by lambda power 5 e power b divided by lambda t. Okay, this equation also shows the intensity of maximum wavelength of radiation emitted from black body is inversely related with the absolute temperature, and this small a and b, okay, this a and b are constants. These a and b are constants, and this Wien's law holds good for shorter wavelengths. Okay, this law holds good for shorter wavelength. This law is true particularly for shorter wavelengths. Shorter wavelength means at high frequency radiation. Okay, at longer wavelength there is some slight deviation. Okay, but this law is holds good for the radiation of shorter wavelength. This is the Wien's law. The next law, okay, we are going to study is Rayleigh-Jean's law. It is another law, very important law. Rayleigh-Jean's law. It is a law of classical physics. Actually, it is a law of classical physics. According to this law is given in terms of Boltzmann constant. Okay, it also shows the intensity of black body radiation. The wavelength of intensity of black body radiation is given by Rayleigh-Jean's law. Usually this Rayleigh-Jean's law actually shows the maximum intensity emitted from the black body radiation, and this law is given in terms of Boltzmann constant A. That is, the intensity of radiation, black body radiation of wavelength will be equal to 2 pi C KT divided by lambda power 4. Okay. This experimental, this law in this case, the experimental results agrees in the case of longer wavelength. Okay. This experimental value agrees with longer wavelengths. Longer wavelength means at low frequency. Okay, they are low frequency of radiation. This law is the experimental values are obeyed. Longer wavelength are low frequencies. Okay, that is shorter the wavelength. Okay, shorter the wavelength, the intensity of radiation will increases. So the intensity of radiation is inversely related with the wavelength of the light in the case of Rayleigh-Jeans law. So Rayleigh-Jeans law also explains the intensity of radiation, particularly the black body radiation. Okay, in all these experiments, this value agrees only with the longer wavelength or lower frequencies. Next very important law is Planck's radiation law. In the case of Planck's radiation law, this Planck's radiation law gives the spectral distribution of radiation. Spectral distribution of radiation. Okay, from black body over the experimental range. Okay, over the experimental range is given by Planck's radiation law. According to this law, the intensity of radiation, black body radiation, is given by 2 pi h c square divided by lambda power 5 e power h c divided by lambda kt minus 1. Okay, this Planck's radiation law given in the year 1901. Okay, by Planck's. According to this, the spectral distribution of radiation of black body over the experimental range is measured, and the intensity of black body radiation emitted will be equal to 2 pi h c square. H is the Planck's constant, okay, and k is the Boltzmann constant. This is the intensity, and when we integrate this, we get the exact intensity of emitted radiation. Okay, when we integrate this 0 to infinity, this E lambda into D lambda. When we integrate this from 0 to infinity, we are varying the wavelength, then we get 2 pi power 5 k power 4 e power 4 divided by 15 c square h cube. Okay, this is gives the exact intensity of radiation. Actually, all these are very constant. Pi k Boltzmann constant, c velocity of light, and this h cube. This whole thing is taken as will be equal to sigma. Okay, or we can write it as E is equal to sigma t power 4, which is similar to in the case of Stefan Boltzmann law. This is the value of the Stefan Boltzmann's constant. This is given by Planck's radiation law. The next topic we are going to study is electron gas in metals? What is the electron gas in metals? Usually we know that the metals are good conductors of electricity. When you look at each and every metal crystal, every metal has a fixed positive nuclei. Okay, the metal atoms, like this, the metal lattice or a metal crystal, if you observe, the metal atoms are arranged like this. It has fixed nuclei. The nuclei is not moving. Only the electron, okay, the electron is moving from one metal atom to another. So therefore, the electron not remain stationary. They are always moving. This is something like in a metal crystal, there will be a sea of electrons. The electrons will not in electrostatic force of attraction. They are always moving over the kernel of the crystal. Therefore, the electrons movement is taken as electron gas. The movement of the electrons, okay, from one metal atom to another, this is something like a sea of electrons with the positive nucleus. So this is considered as electron gas. So the movement of electrons is called electron gas, or it is also called electron gas model of metals. Okay? Then what happens? When the electrons are moving, they will have some kind of potential energy. Okay? This is something like a free electrons are distributed over the surface of the metal, and their distribution is calculated by Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. Therefore, every electron has its own potential energy. Okay, and the electron gas particles, the potential or energy of electron gas particles can be calculated in terms of degenerate gas or non-degenerate gas. What is meant by degenerate gas? Okay, degenerate gas is nothing but a gas which do not always deviate from ideal behavior. Okay, the distribution, we know that by using this Fermi-Dirac statistics. In the Fermi-Dirac statistics we have studied, the number of particles distributed in the ith energy level is we have calculated as Gi divided by e power alpha, e power beta, ei plus 1. Okay, this is what we have studied in the case of what is called Fermi-Dirac statistics. Fermi-Dirac statistics. Okay, then the distribution law gives the number of electrons with an energy E and dE. Okay, the number of electrons with the energy between E and dE is given by what is called as G0 into G E into dE divided by e power e minus EF by kT plus 1. It will be equal to F into E GB. Here this Fe is nothing but Fermi energy. Listen, if every electron is in under electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus, so therefore what happens if we want to knock out or remove the electron from the metal, we have to supply the energy which should be excess when compared to the electrostatic force of attraction between the electron and the nucleus. So therefore, the excess energy of the electrons at absolute zero temperature is called Fermi energy. Okay, the excess energy acquired by the electron at absolute zero temperature is called Fermi energy. So that is given by Fe, and we have to calculate. For example, if there are number of electrons, total number of electrons, calculated the total number of electrons, calculated, it is integrated by integration of, we have studied NEDE, that is the number of electrons having energy between E and D. When we integrate this, we get the number of electrons. Okay. Then after integration, substituting the value, we get the total number of electrons. Okay. In a metal gas can be written as, it will be equal to 2 by 3 into Fermi energy power 3 by 2. Okay. Then it will give you the number of electrons in the degenerate case. Okay. Similarly, when we calculate the energy, okay, when we calculate the energy of these electrons, okay, when we calculate the energy of these electrons, it will become equal to 3 by 5 N EF. Okay, after simplifying this equation, 1 plus 5 pi square divided by 12 kT EF square pi power 4 by 16 kT by EF power 4. I can going on and it down like this. Okay. Then finally, this gives the values of energy. We know how to calculate the heat capacity. The heat capacity, we know that. What is heat capacity? The specific heat capacity is nothing but rate of change of energy with respect to temperature at constant volume. Okay. When we calculate this, it will become equal to Cv will become equal to, when we substitute the value of energy of electrons, when we differentiate with temperature at constant volume, I will get half or pi square kT divided by EF. Therefore, this shows that all these are constant. So therefore, the specific heat capacity of electrons will be proportional to the temperature. See, when any metal is heated, or what happens if a metal is heated, what happens? The electrons are emitted. The electrons are emitted. It's called electronic emissions. Okay, thermal emissions of electrons. Okay, thermal this when the heat energy supply becomes excess or overcomes the electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron, then what happens? The electrons are emitted. They are called thermionic emissions or thermal emissions of electrons. So therefore, every electron has its own Fermi energy. I told you that the Fermi energy is nothing but the excess energy acquired by the electron at absolute zero temperature is called Fermi energy. So therefore, the heat capacity or the thermal conductivity, the heat capacity of electron or electron gas, the movement of electron, that model is taken as the electron gas in metal, that heat capacity is directly proportional to temperature. As the temperature increases, the specific heat capacity of metals also increases. This is so much about today's class. The next topic we will study in the next class.